on day 9 of your 10-day challenge. We're going to learn about a train conductor today. It's what I've named a 12-bar blues with some very cool rhythmic principles. I cannot wait for you to learn it along with me. But first, since we are on day 9 of day 10, and there has been so many light bulb moments, I want you to actually share this live stream right now. Okay, so go ahead and click the video and then click share in the upper right hand corner. There's going to be a little pop-up window, and then you can go ahead and click post. Share it with all your Guitar Geek friends because I want to spread the love as much as possible. And for those of you who are brand new to the 10-day challenge and you're like, how do I get involved in this free 10-day challenge? It's super easy. Step 1, go to WePlayEveryday.com. Step 2, click join the Facebook group. And then step 3, go ahead and check in with the course guide that's pinned to the top of the group. And you'll see all the replays, details, tablature, and all that good stuff there so you can be in the loop and involved in this 10-day challenge. And a very important item of business before we get started today. Today is the last day to enroll in Tony's Acoustic Challenge. It's the last official day of the public enrollment window. So if you're on the fence, I kind of want to push you right into Tony's Acoustic Challenge. So please consider that. More details on that in today's lesson. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Tony Policastro. I'm part of an underground group of acoustic guitar enthusiasts you've probably never heard of. We're not here to play face-melting guitar solos or judge other guitar players. Our purpose is much greater than that. For us, it's about expanding our quality of life through music and having fun with our guitar, not just mastering it. Getting better at guitar is proof that we do have what it takes to be a guitar player, which means we can build stronger bonds with friends and create lasting musical family traditions. But if you asked a guitar snob or a music academic, they would turn up their nose and say their way is better. Yet this way of seeing the guitar is changing lives every single day. We follow a specific framework and set of values that keeps us focused on what matters most: human connection, constant progress, and fun. It's happening, and we call it living the acoustic life. This is our acoustic life, and these are our stories. All right, welcome to day 9 of your 10-day challenge. I am pumped that you are here with me. We're going to do a ton of learning, and a lot of light bulb moments will ensue in just a short amount of time. And of course, not only are you here with me, but so is Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. the first, surname Sir, and of course, Levi Quila, the man with the technical plan. Ladies and gentlemen,
hey Noah, how's it going? Tony?
These are my friends, my little helpers, if you will. And I am pumped you guys are here. Of course, Noah is standing by. Levi is standing by to check out your comments and your questions and field those, or rather they'll deliver them to me, and I will field those. And of course, they will chime in, as they normally do. And I think we should just have Noah chime in right off the bat here. And Noah, is everything happening?
Everything
is chatter happening?
It's happening.
It's happening?
Yes, we have Carl from Calgary.
All right,
we have
go Flames.
Pat from Denver. We have
nice.
Dean from Erie, PA.
Nice.
We have Sue from Sheffield, UK.
Oh, fantastic.
Saw some other folks from New Windsor, New York, from Downers Grove, Illinois.
Oh, I grew up in Schaumburg. Welcome.
It's Dan K's 9th day in a row.
Nice work, Dan.
Which is probably a lot of people's 9th day in a row, but Dan specifically mentioned that.
All right. Good job, Dan.
Yes.
That's a hell of a commitment right there.
And Dom did say, corrected that Sharon has only 16 screens, not 17.
So Tony, before you kick in,
yeah,
can we get some hearts and likes for Tony? He's had a 3-day turnaround on this cold.
Yeah.
He's pretty much recovered as far as I can tell.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm a little snotty, not in the I'm snotty, but it's snotty in my head. Sorry. I want to be real. All right. So thank you for being here. This is an awesome day. I cannot believe the 10-day challenge is coming to a close, and I cannot believe today is the last official day for public enrollment in Tony's Acoustic Challenge. So a lot of urgency happening, and I cannot wait to dive into today's
Where do you
lesson.
sign up for that, just in case?
Oh, yeah. All you have to do is go to Tony'sAcousticChallenge.com, or there's going to be a link in the comments below that you can click on. All the pricing information is there, and I just want to encourage you, for those of you who have enjoyed the 10-day challenge and really like what's happening here, the environment, the lessons, the teaching, just the overall interaction, I just want to strongly urge you to sign up for Tony's Acoustic Challenge, because once this 10-day challenge is over, it's over. And the group's going to actually be closed. And the only way to continue this positive momentum is to go ahead and jump into Tony's Acoustic Challenge and start participating in the lessons, interacting with the community. I just want you to carry that positive momentum, because I don't want things to stop after this 10-day challenge is over. There's been so much great momentum built, positivity, light bulb moments, small wins. I want to keep that going for you. So today's lesson, we are here on day 9 of the 10-day challenge. And as with all of the lessons throughout the 10-day challenge, they follow the Tony's Acoustic Challenge practice framework, meaning that on Mondays, we're going to focus on a warm-up. Tuesdays, a lick. Wednesdays, scale and improvisation. Thursdays, today, rhythm guitar. And then Fridays, we're going to look at chords within a key, why they sound good and what we can do with them, and focus on transitions. So each of those 5 essential categories of guitar improvement is addressed every single week here in the 10-day challenge, as well as in Tony's Acoustic Challenge. And again, today is Thursday, so we're going to focus on rhythm guitar. We're going to use we're going to use a 12-bar blues today and kind of focus on some rhythmic techniques, as well as some kind of, I call them unconventional chord shapes, but they're kind of, it's still on the vibe of that mini chord kind of idea, which segues so well into fingerstyle. So we're going to look at that. And before I even share with you how today's lesson is going to work, I know that this public enrollment window for Tony's Acoustic Challenge is currently open. It ends today. And Levi has a list of new members that I'd like to celebrate into the Attack family, the Guitar Geek family. So Levi, if you have that list handy, let's do some celebrating.
Okay, might have to do first names only, because this is getting crazy. But that is to be expected. You know, being kind of a procrastinator myself, I understand what it's like to wait to the very last second and jump in. So I'm going to do my best here. This is looking really fun. So we got Kyle I, Robert M, Daniel S, Beverly S, Gerald B, Ellen O, Joanne M, Brian S, Christian T, Alan L, Jeffrey C, Liam C, David Garber, Wade Story, Billy S, Clinton Bruner, Jeff Buck, Wayne G, Dennis B, Scott H, Eric R, Jeffrey Sack, Pete EB, Jessica, Dennis, Thomas, Kim, Dan, David, Steve, Tim, Bill, Melody, Dwight, Madeline, Patrick, Ian, Greg, Richard, Chris, Scott, Alan, William, Lawton, Catherine. I just randomly throw one in there. Yeah, just kind of all over the place. So Catherine M, William M, Brian, Penny, John, Angela, Kate, Court, Brian E, Eric with a CH, Lucas, Zolt with a Z. That's pretty cool. Mark H, Tommy S, Tony C, Shane N, Michael, Jerry, Karen, Darren, Kirk, William, Eliza, David, Paul, Eugene, Steve, Eric, Christy, Mike, Michael, Ken, Dennis. Guys, we're not even close, but I'm just going to do it because this is part of the fun. Ken, Denise, Christy, Jay, Helga, Philippe, Richard, Michael, Bruce, Scott, Rolando, John L, Brian S, John R, Matthew T, Vincent, Eric, Sawyer, Susan, Robert, Jim, Rob, Steve, John, Angela, David, Reese, Robert, Craig, Jeffrey, I can't even pronounce Aif, Diana, Max, Chris, Doug, Patrick, Steve, Aaron, Brandt, David, Chris, Mark Norton, Trevor Freeman, Wayne Froelich, and John Larson. Holy cow, this is super fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to Tony's Acoustic Challenge. Welcome to the Guitar Geek family. And how about a round of applause for Levi just burning through those names?
I will accept that. I will accept that.
You were really going for it. I love your I'm just going to do first names, and then the first 5 were first and last names. And then it was good. It was very your cadence was incredible.
There's an art to it.
Yeah.
And eventually I'll get good at that art.
Well, if you're going to have to. Tomorrow's your last chance.
Right.
Okay. So,
So tomorrow we'll be naming off everybody who signed up from 11 a.m. today to midnight tonight when the deadline ends and it all shuts down.
Correct. So again, if you're thinking about TAC, please jump in there and sign up. Today is the last day. Levi mentioned that he's a procrastinator. I'm a procrastinator as well. I have tomorrow's exercise in my mind, but I need to make a tab for you guys, which was a good reminder. So if you're thinking about procrastinating in terms of joining Tony's Acoustic Challenge, please don't. There's only one day, period. That's the fact. So go ahead and consider that. Here's how today's lesson is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and play through the entire rhythm focus for today, the entire exercise for today, which again is a 12-bar blues. And then I'm going to go ahead and break it down chunk by chunk. I'll explain each of the measures, each of the kind of rhythmic pieces we're dealing with. And then I'm going to play it through at 3 different speeds, 60, 80, and 100 beats per minute, so that you can play along if you so choose to do so, or you can just kind of get that context at what it sounds like in different speeds. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on today's challenge. All right, so we are going to get started with day 9's challenge, the trained conductor, a 12-bar blues in the key of E, your rhythm guitar exercise for today. And if you want to follow along with the tablature, please do so. You'll find it in a link right beneath the video in the comments. Go ahead and click on that link and you can follow along with the tabs. And of course, later it will appear, actually it is right now, in the course guide as well. So you can always get that there as well. Now today's, today's focus, we've really been building this week. In fact, today at the end of my playthroughs during the rhythm, I'm actually going to show you how to incorporate Tuesday's lick into this rhythm seamlessly and effortlessly, if you will. So there's a lot of connections that are going to be made today. But let's first focus on the rhythm. I'm going to go ahead and play through it for you so you can get a sense of what this is and what it sounds like. It'll probably sound very familiar because A, it's a 12-bar blues, and B, it was actually your rhythm track yesterday. So let me play through this. We're going to isolate each chord, form, and shape, and we're going to go ahead and, in doing so, kind of look at each chunk, okay? And this is the way that I like to learn specific chord progressions, so hopefully it is insight as to how you can use this technique in your own learning as well. So here's the full chord progression. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is your chord progression for today. Now, excuse me, it is a 12-bar blues, so essentially what we're going to be playing, I'm just going to outline the helicopter view of the chord forms, right? We're going to be playing an E7 for 4 measures, the entire top line of the tab. The next 2 measures will be an A7 chord. The following 2 measures will be back to that E7. And then in that last line of tab, we're going to hit a B7 chord, an A7 chord, and then the final 2 measures will be an E7 chord with a little turnaround, which of course we'll go over at the end. So essentially, 4 measures of E7, 2 measures of A7, back to 2 measures of E7, a measure of B7, a measure of A7, and 2 measures of E7. That's your basic 12-bar blues form. And so let's first target this top line. In fact, if you tuned into Tuesday's lesson, you kind of already know this. It's just a basic E7 with a little kind of a what we'll call a grace note slide to kind of really get the bluesy, pull as much bluesiness as we can out of it. So as far as your picking hand is concerned, your thumb will be assigned to the low E string, index finger the G string, and middle finger the B string. Okay, kind of like almost like you're holding a pair of scissors. And as far as what we're going to do on our fretting hand, index finger is going to start at the 1st fret of the B string, middle finger the 2nd fret of the G. We're going to pinch those we're going to pinch those 3 strings together and then do a very quick slide so that your index finger ends up on the 3rd fret of the B, middle finger the 4th fret of the G, like so. Okay, you can just practice that. This is kind of a crucial piece. Right? So that's the first area. And once you're at, or that's the first section of the tab. Once you're at that E7 chord, the mini E7 chord, our index finger is going to be on that 3rd fret of the B, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G. We're going to go ahead and play a series of 8th notes, okay? So that's 1, and then we go and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, that's it. We're pinching those same exact strings. Our fretting hand is not moving after we do that initial slide. So once we end up in that E7 position, just hold tight and pinch the same strings. So I'm going to go ahead and play through that so you can hear what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, I'll do that a little bit slower. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay. And since I'm counting and playing along right now, I'm playing it very squarely to the time, so it's right on the beat. Whereas if you really want to get the blues feeling out of it, you're going to shuffle it a little bit. So square to the beat would sound 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Think of a robot or something like that counting for you. If you were going to kind of give it a little bit of a swing or a shuffle feel, it would be 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Just like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay. So 2 different ways to play it. Neither is wrong. Neither is, there's not one right way. It's just depending on what feeling you wish to emote. So that's our very first measure. Now it's crucial to remember that because in the 3rd measure, we're going to come back to the same exact move as we are again in the 7th measure and as we are again in the 11th measure. So essentially by learning this little section, you've just learned 4 measures of the song by only learning one little piece, one little chunk. Okay. The next chunk, measure 2, is also over an E7 chord, but we're just shifting up the neck a little bit for just some variation. Okay. Think of this as an option. If you want to do a straight 4 measures of just this, totally an option. But I threw this in just so you could have another little voice and just kind of a little bit of a different twinge at that E7 chord. So what we're going to do for that, our index finger is going to start at the 5th fret of the G string, ring finger the 7th fret of the B string, okay? Sounds weird if I play it alone, but you'll see what we're going to do with it here in a second. So as far as our picking hand goes, same assignments. Thumb on the low E, index on the G, and middle on the B, right? Go ahead and just pinch that right now. Again, sounds a little strange, but what we're going to do is we're going to do that same quick slide up 2 frets. So after that slide, our index finger is going to end up on the 7th fret of the G string and ring finger the 9th fret of the B string, like so. That sounds a little bit better, right? So it's the same exact rhythmic layout as we did in the first measure, but we're just using a different chord shape, a different voice of that E7 chord, and that's going to sound like this. Right? Same thing, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, right? So 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Or if you want to introduce that shuffle rhythm, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay. So now that you know that, you actually know the 4th measure as well. So at this point in time, you pretty much know roughly half of the song, half of the chord progression, just by learning 2 little chunks. That's pretty awesome. So for that first line, we're just switching between that first E7 chord, whoops, right, and then that second E7 chord. Okay, so that first line is going to sound like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 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 Okay. If you want to stay on either of those chord forms for the entire 4 measures, please go ahead and do so. It's not a big deal. They're both an E7 and they both fit the bill the same way. I just wanted to give you some options. So moving to the second line of the tablature. Measure 5. All we're going to do for this is it's just a subtle change. The rhythmic layout is the same, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But we're going to switch chords to an A7. So for that chord, I want your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D and your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the B. For your picking hand, your thumb's going to come down to the D string, index finger the G, and middle finger the B. Okay? And all you're going to do is pinch those 3 strings in the same rhythmic pattern that we just did. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, if you're using the shuffle rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's it. Measure 5 rhythmically is the same. The only thing that's shifting is the chord we're fretting and our thumbs dropping down to that D string. Index finger stays on the G, middle finger stays on the B in terms of your picking hand. So that's measure 5. Not too bad. Just kind of just staying on a chord, and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Measure 6 is still a measure of A7, but we're kind of adding some variety just for some interest and some movement. Okay. There's no reason you can actually stay on just this exact chord for measure 6 as well. But just to give you some options again, I'm going to show you what this measure sounds like. We're going to do 2 eighth notes on each chord form. Okay, so we're going to start on that A7 chord form, 1 and. You're going to go ahead and slide your middle finger forward to the 4th fret of the D. Your index finger is going to drop to the 3rd fret of the B. And you're going to play 2 eighth notes there. 2 and. Okay, so we have A7, 1 and then we're going to slide that middle finger up, 4th fret of the D, index finger, 3rd fret of the B, 2 and. For the next chord shape, we're going to slide that middle finger up again to the 5th fret of the D. Ring finger reaches down and grabs the 5th fret of the B. It's almost as if you took that A7 and slid it all the way to the 5th fret. We're going to do 2 eighth notes there for the 3 and beat. 3 and. Okay? So 1 and, 2 and, 3 and for the 4 beat, we're going to take our middle finger, slide it back to that 4th fret of the D, index finger drops again to the 3rd fret of the B, and just pluck those strings once. That's our 4 beat. Okay. And again, for finger assignments, it's the same exact thing that we did in measure 5. Thumb is on the D, index on the G, middle finger on the B. So if I was to play measure 5 and measure 6, both would be over an A7 chord, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. For measure 5 and 6, you already know those. It's back to E7. Pretty cool. So you already have that. So what we're doing right now, just to kind of take a break, give your fingers a second to chill out, is we're just learning the chunks. Okay. So part of the thing about learning something like this is, you know, when I was first starting to learn things off of tablature and just kind of digging through some, you know, as guitar geeks do, digging through different lessons and things, I'd look at something like this and I'd say, I have to learn this all. I have to learn the whole thing. I have to start at measure 1, end up on measure 12, and just play through it all at once. But I want to encourage you to zoom out just a little bit more and look at it and say, okay, I noticed that there's some similarities, there's some repeats, some repeated measures. So identify the unique measures, the unique chunks, if you will, and then just learn those. Once you have each unique chunk, then go back through and work on the transitions from one chunk to the next. So that's what we're doing right now is we're isolating these individual chunks, okay? And that's the beautiful thing. We already know measure 7 and 8 because, well, we played them already in the very first line of the tablature. It's a beautiful thing. So let's move now to the bottom line of the tab. Starting at measure, measure 9, we're going to make a B7 chord, but we're not going to make a full B7 chord. We're going to use a similar shape that we used for the A7, but we're going to drop each finger towards the floor 1 string. So that means our ring finger is going to end up on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Our middle finger is going to end up on the 2nd fret of the G string. Okay, and to pluck this, to actually play this, our thumb's going to drop to the G string, index is going to move to the B, and ring finger is going to be on the high E. Same rhythmic layout, same thing we've been doing. We've just positioned our fingers differently, right? We have a new chord under our fretting hand and new finger assignments on our picking hand. And that's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Same rhythm, just new fretting assignment because we have a new chord, and of course, new finger assignments on our picking hand. Now, Tony, why would you play just this mini version of the B7 and not the full thing? Well, quite frankly, that's a beautiful sounding chord. But I've always found the transition to the B7 one that I don't really make very smoothly, to be quite honest with you. And that's totally fine. I still use the full chord as long as I feel like I have time to get there. But in this case, since I'm already making the A7 with my middle and ring finger, and since I've already done this little E7 thing, my fingers are kind of focused on the higher strings. So why not just play half the chord? It still does the job. It's just a heck of a lot easier for me to make in a much quicker time frame. So that's why I'm using this little mini chord. If you want to use the full one, that's totally fine. And please do so. But I'm just choosing to do this because I'm not playing any other strings, so there's no reason to include it. So from that B chord, or B7 chord, we're going to go ahead for measure, it would be measure 10. We're going to move each finger towards the ceiling one string to make that A7 again. So middle finger ends up on the second fret of the D. Ring finger ends up on the second fret of the B. Switch the finger assignments on your picking hand. So your thumb's on the G string, index on the, switch the finger assignments on your picking hand. So the thumb's on the D, index the G, middle the B. Right? It's the same exact thing that we did in measure 5. Same rhythm, same everything. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Then we're going to go ahead and do exactly what we did in measure 1 for measure 11. Okay? So now we only have one measure left, and it happens to be the turnaround. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do the turnaround, a lot of different ways you can massage the time. I know for a fact that when I was playing the rhythm track yesterday, I played it a little bit differently than it's tabbed out today. This is a little bit more squarely in time, and yesterday I took a little bit more liberty. But I want you to know that this turnaround basically is I refer to it as a boomerang. It just brings us right back to the beginning of the chord progression again. So as long as it does that, you can kind of manipulate that time however you wish within certain parameters. So let's pick up right at the end of measure 11. We're holding that E7 chord. Our index finger is on the 3rd fret of the B, middle, the 4th fret of the G. We've just played that last quarter note. On our picking hand, we're going to drop our index finger to the B string and middle finger to the high E. Okay. I want you to go ahead and pluck those two high strings. Your index finger is still going to be on that 3rd fret of the B string. Your high E string will be open. So you're going to pluck that, drop that fretting hand index finger back towards the headstock, 1 fret, so it's on the 2nd fret, pluck those 2 strings again. Same move, we're going to drop it 1 more fret to the 1st fret, pluck the same 2 strings, and then lift it off for that final 8th note, and pluck those 2 strings open. Okay, so that's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and. From there, I want you to take your middle finger, grab the 3rd fret of the G, ring finger, 3rd fret of the high E string, and we're going to do the similar thing that we did in measure 9 in terms of our picking hand. Thumb will be on the G, index the B, middle the high E. Pluck those 3 strings while fretting those 2 notes on the 3rd fret, and then go ahead and drop that 1 fret towards the headstock. Okay, and those are both quarter notes. That's going to be our turnaround. So in context, that'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I'll do that one more time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, and again, I'm using my index finger here and dropping it a fret at a time. You might be thinking, well, wouldn't it be easier if I just did my ring, middle, index? Technically, yes, but look where we're coming from. We're making that E7 chord right there. our index finger is already in position, so let's kind of reduce, reuse, and recycle and go ahead and use that index finger for the whole run. So there you have it, and then you can launch right back into the 12-bar blues again. So again, yesterday I was kind of doing a quicker descending part. I was doing something like that. That's what I was talking about with manipulations of time, and it's really hard to try and consider all manipulations of time in terms of, you know, adding the swing or the shuffle and not doing it. So I'd rather you learn it in a way that feels good for you. If that's just very squarely to the time, that's fine. If it's swung without a metronome, that's fine too. I want you to kind of find your comfort zone with this particular chord progression and execute it that way. So what I'm going to do now, excuse me, I'm going to play through this at 3 different tempos. I'll start at 60 beats per minute, move to 80, and then 100. I will make a note, though, that this is really better suited in the slower tempos. Nothing wrong with the faster tempos. It just kind of, it feels a little rushed. This is definitely more 60, 80 beats per minute in that slower realm. But I'll do 100 just so you can hear what it sounds like. And if you want to take it there or past there, by all means, you are very much invited to do so. So let's go ahead and look at 60 beats per minute. And with the metronome, again, I'm using this so you can get a gauge of what it sounds like against a click. Okay, if it throws you off to do that, don't worry about the metronome. This is just for example. Okay, for those of you who wish to do this with a metronome, please do so. For those of you who the metronome throws you off and it's not something you're ready for right now, don't worry about it. Just get familiar with the different chunks and then move from there. So this is it at 60 beats per minute. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Included a measure of the repeats so you could hear that kind of transition. Okay, so that was 60 beats per minute. Let's bump it up 20 beats per minute to 80 here. So this is kind of where I feel, let's just say as far as the vibe that this chord progression creates in this particular 12-bar blues, I feel like this is the speed limit in terms of conveying emotion and kind of really digging into the vibe of the tune or the chord progression. But we're going to push it to 100 just so you can see what I mean. So let's start with 80 and then we'll go to 100. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of did my time manipulation at the end there. I pushed that last chord up a half a beat just to kind of create a little bit more space. So I guess that's a good example of doing just that. So let's go ahead and we're going to move it to 100 beats per minute now. And I will say again, this is kind of, to me, it starts to lose its vibe a little bit, but I want you to be the judge of that. Maybe this kind of fits into the comfort zone for you, and you're like, hey, I really like this kind of fast. You'll get almost kind of a Chuck Berry-y sound. So let's go ahead and give 100 beats per minute a go and see if you dig it. So here's 100 beats per minute. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. was 100 beats per minute. It's definitely got a little bit of zip to it, but that's pretty cool. It's growing on me. So that is your lesson for today. Now, real quick note, you might be thinking back to Tuesday and think, well, we kind of did this on Tuesday. Where does that lick fit in? How can I actually fit the lick in? Well, it's actually pretty cool because that lick that we did on Tuesday, remember that time window that I was talking about? Well, that's a 4-measure window. So essentially, that entire top line, you can go ahead and remove that top line from your tab for day 9 and insert that lick because it takes up 4 measures, right? So that would sound like something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right, so you can take that lick and just put it right in the top line and just make sure to end the lick with a... Right? It'll actually, you can go ahead and use that if you like, maybe you want to do the chords on your first run through and then insert the lick on your second run through, and that top line, totally able to do that. So kind of a cool practical application for that. So with that officially is your lesson for the day. I'd love to entertain your questions, your comments. We've got small wins to celebrate. I've got important announcements about Tony's Acoustic Challenge and a little walkthrough that I want to give you just so you really can understand the site. So Noah, I look to your smiling face to be the communicator for the people.
Yes, love it. So, folks, if you do have a question, just remember, just type in hashtag and then the word question, and then Levi and I can easily find those. Same for small wins, or even light bulb moments that I saw one pop up there and can share from Jason, who says, mini chords are actually starting to make sense. But here's what really caught my eye, Tony and Levi.
Yes.
Levi, you might have seen it.
Okay.
We have a member who made a comment on here, Emma, and she says, greetings from England, and a huge thank you, all caps on the thank you, to all the TAC community who have responded to my post earlier today. It was very moving. Also, thank you to Noah, Levi, and Tony at TAC who don't know how much Acoustic Tuesday saved me.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Big heart.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Emma. I just want to say, just real quick, a lot of love from us over to you across the pond. You are the embodiment of TAC, the spirit, the culture, the way that you interact with everybody on the forum. You're a true guitar geek, so thank you very, very much.
And she's also, to my knowledge, I know there are many members out there, but our second Emma from the UK.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if Emma will get to meet Emma at some point.
True.
Right. Maybe the Emma that Tony thought he was saying hi to might even be able to meet each other.
Sorry, I always think of Emma S as the one from the UK.
Right.
This is Emma W.
That's right.
Well, Emma W., you embody the true spirit of TAC as well because you're a guitar geek and you love Acoustic Tuesday.
We're just getting started with Acoustic Tuesday.
I know.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
The
light bulb. Let's just say the light bulbs were bright today.
That was a good
in
one.
regards to Acoustic Tuesday.
Yeah. Lots of hearts and likes are flowing in right now. I love seeing that. Tony, just can you get a visual there?
I can.
See that?
Oh, yeah. There's smiley faces, too, I think. Maybe laughing faces because I goofed up.
Some of those.
Yeah, there was hearts and smiley faces. Remember one time I saw like some purple flowers?
Flowers can
Yeah.
shoot across the thing?
I don't even know how.
That's like at figure skating when they're done with their thing and they do the final ta-da, and the flowers come cascading down from the rafters. No? Not a thing?
Kirk
Cool.
Schoonmaker
Good talk, guys.
says, I know there's a members map on TAC, but not certain if there's a listing anywhere. That sounds like a question. There, you can search members, yes. But at over 5,000 members, a listing isn't overly
It's kind of
usable.
overwhelming.
Yeah, so with that, normally what is great is that if you see people posting and who are active in the forum, you can click on their username, or their moniker there.
Yeah.
And then so you are able to contact anyone and say hi to anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they're if you find out that they're in your area. It's a great place to connect with actual people to jam in person.
Correct. This is interesting. I think this is the first time I've seen this. Carl here says hashtag big lose. Missed seeing the amazing Daniel Champagne here in Calgary this past Sunday. Dang.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. But thanks for sharing with us.
But
So one of the things, any other questions, Noah?
no,
Okay.
no questions coming in.
Well, if you have questions or small ones, go ahead and leave those. I want to just kind of share an important message with you right now, in that today is the final open enrollment day for Tony's Acoustic Challenge. And I just want to, I do want to strongly urge you to sign up. And I say this because this 10-day challenge has been a blast. We've gotten to interact with not only TAC members in here, but people considering TAC, people that have started the 10-day challenge and become TAC members. And I just want to know that for everybody that has enjoyed this 10-day challenge, here we are on day 9. I can't even believe it. It's kind of zoomed by. For everybody that's enjoyed this 10-day challenge, I want you to continue the vibes that are created here. And the surefire way to do that is to sign up for Tony's Acoustic Challenge. The same style of lessons will be offered within Tony's Acoustic Challenge. So let me explain. I have a little bit of a walkthrough here so you can get a visual of what's happening within the site. Once you log in as a member, you'll go to your home page, and there's going to be a calendar right at the bottom tracking the days that you played. Okay, it's just kind of a nice reminder of, hey, I've been doing good this month, or maybe I should play a little bit more. Up above that, there is the daily lesson, a new one every single day. Go ahead and click on Start. It'll take you to the lesson page where you'll see a video smack dab in the middle, much as you're kind of doing right now, but on the Tony's Acoustic Challenge website. Below that video, you're going to see a couple different tabs. There's going to be an explanation tab, a slow, a medium, and a fast. So let me explain. Much as we've done during the 10-day challenge, I'll start off the lesson by explaining what we're going to do. That's the explanation video. And then I'll go ahead and play through it at 3 different tempos so you can kind of graduate through the tempos as you get more comfortable with the exercise. Well, that's what the slow, medium, and fast are within Tony's Acoustic Challenge. The beautiful thing is that it's way more convenient because it's not one big long video. They're each separate. So if you need clarification on part of the exercise, it's right there in the explanation video, and you can just target that. If you want to, say, play through it at the slow tempo, just click on the slow tempo, and it's going to start. It starts off with a count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I play. No talking whatsoever. And the beautiful thing about those different graduated speed videos is that they actually loop. So if you really want to refine it, say, I want to do 10 reps of this exercise, you just let the video play, and it'll just keep going round and round until you really get it. So there's no stopping, starting. You don't have to take your hands off your guitar and click the mouse or anything like that. Up above the video, for those of you who dig following along with the tab, which is definitely me, there's a place to download the tab. Next to that, you can actually download the entire lesson to your computer. So let's say you're going on a trip or visiting grandma or grandpa, visiting your parents, whatever the case may be. You can actually bring the lesson along if they don't have Wi-Fi or something like that. And last but certainly not least, on top of that lesson video, there's a spot to actually favorite it. So as the daily lessons come at you within Tony's Acoustic Challenge, some you're going to be like, oh, that was fun, totally dug that. And some you're going to be like, whoa, I need to learn this. I love this. Go ahead and click favorite, and then you can curate your own collection of favorite exercises so you can start tailoring your practice habit and your routine to exactly what you want to learn. So a lot of flexibility with those daily lessons, and a lot of different lessons and kind of learning points can be pulled from them, whether you're just starting the guitar or have played for a little bit. And speaking of just starting the guitar, maybe wanting to be exposed to new techniques and new ways of playing, there's a whole entire academy within Tony's Acoustic Challenge. And it's laid out so that you kind of have a guide along the way. There's a success path. So it starts with, there's 4 different foundations, foundation 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's courses within each foundation, right? So you start on foundation 1. As soon as you complete one of those courses, it's going to go ahead and open up foundation 2. Once you complete one of those courses, it'll go ahead and open up Foundation 3. So you kind of have this really cool pacing to the academy, so it's not super overwhelming. There's a clear starting point and a clear path through the academy. And there's some great courses in there. Blues 101, there's a flat picking course, a finger picking course, guitar maintenance, a slide guitar course, which actually pulls on some blues items as well. Really great information, a fantastic place to level up your skills and build a solid foundation that you can then bring to those daily exercises as well to get even more out of them. And last but certainly not least, really what you've gotten a taste of during this 10-day live challenge is the amazing supportive community at TAC. It's something that is hard for me to put into words because it is like the most loving bunch of guitar geeks I've ever been exposed to. There's always that feeling, you know, when you're learning guitar, like, God, does everybody else know this and I don't? There's none of that on Tony's Acoustic Challenge. You have beginners helping out people that have played for a long time. You have people that have played for a long time helping out beginners. You have everybody learning and sharing. And it's really, it's a beautiful place to share your guitar geekiness with everybody else, right? And it's not just people commenting back and forth. People are posting videos of themselves playing songs that they're just learning, playing songs that they need help with, songs that they wrote. Jams, we actually have two members. One of them's here in the U.S., the other's in the U.K., and they've actually combined to to film videos. Henrik and Gary, actually, they call it the Transatlantic Connection. They combine, and they're actually playing songs together and posting their videos within the community on Tony's Acoustic Challenge. So it's absolutely stunning. And the cool thing is, not only is there that video exchange, there's people actually finding people that live near them and jamming together, meeting face to face, sharing ideas in that same kind of nurturing and just guitar geek environment. So the community is it's a really special place on Tony's Acoustic Challenge. So I wanted you all to get the inside scoop of what it is and see what the member experience is like, because it's a beautiful parallel to the 10-day challenge and something that I know will help you with your playing habit, with kind of feeling like almost that feeling of accountability. Like, I got to log in today and get my playing in. Just those 10 minutes. It's so important, and it will definitely help you with that. Beyond that, you're going to meet people that are just as guitar geeky as you. And I know for a fact, if you've participated in this 10-day challenge, you're a guitar geek. Whether or not you want to admit that or not, I'll just do it for you. You're a guitar geek, and you belong with other guitar geeks. And I say that in the most loving way possible. So, Noah, in my messages about TAC, were there any questions that came up?
Nope.
Levi, on your end, anything that I missed?
No, there's actually just a ton of positivity.
Yeah.
People agreeing, people just being
Yeah.
positive and awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Loving comments.
Great.
Yeah.
Did I mention today's the last day to enroll? If you're
I don't know if you
considering it?
mentioned that.
Well, let me go ahead and mention it again. This is the first time we've ever opened up public enrollment to where you can go to Tony'sAcousticChallenge.com, and if you want to continue this practice habit, well, it's going to help you regardless of where you're at, beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever the case may be. Today you can just go to Tony's Acoustic Challenge and sign up. If you try and do it tomorrow, you're just going to be able to get on a wait list. Okay, so this is actually really urgent. And I want you to commit. I want you to come join the Guitar Geek family because it's fun. This is fun. This same amount of fun that we're having right now is going to continue.
So
I can assure you that.
I've seen some people. Man, there's been some really good conversations. People asking questions in the Facebook group. So two things. One, you mentioned it's for all levels, beginning, intermediate, even advanced. You just get different things depending on where you're at. But one thing that somebody said was the thing that made them sign up is like, hey, I have nothing to lose. There's literally like a 60-day money-back guarantee.
Right.
Could you maybe be specific about what that entails?
And as far as like
exactly how it works.
Okay, yeah, totally. So I want you to sign up, and really, truly, there's no risk because there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Literally, it's like taking a car off the lot for 2 months and being like, not for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to the lot because I just tried it out. I gave it the full run-through. And that's exactly what I want you to do with TAC, because the only way to find out if this is a perfect fit for you and it aligns with your goals and the way that you wish to continue your guitar journey is to try it out. So I want you to sign up, get in there, click around, find stuff, meet people, see if this is something for you. Okay, and if you find out that it's not a problem. It's really easy to cancel. You just go in your profile and cancel. All you have to do is click on that support tab on the top within 60 days, and you get a full money back refund. But I really don't think you'll have to even go that route, because I think once you get in there and you start meeting people and you start learning and you see how much actual sharing and lessons that go beyond just the daily lesson are actually contained in there, I don't think you're going to ever look back. But it's there as a safety net.
It's sort of why you're doing this 10-day challenge is, if people have made it this far and are enjoying it, they're the people that are perfect for TAC. So it's kind of
absolutely.
Yeah, at this point, it's most certainly going to be a perfect fit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think, we were trying to think of how to best do this open enrollment, Yeah, we could just open enrollment and tell people about it, but why not actually give you 10 days of what TAC is? And gosh, if you're still here on day 9 and you're still thinking about it and you're still enjoying the challenge, I would like to just make the decision for you and say, come in and give it a shot, because I think it'll really, I know it'll really benefit you, especially if you want to feel daily progress and enjoy your guitar every single time you pick it up. I think it's something that will definitely bolster your playing. Any other questions or comments or anything?
Well, there was a huge discussion that ensued on different kinds of pie and how good it is.
Oh, good. I'm a pumpkin pie fan. Lemon meringue is my dad's favorite. Also love that. And key lime is a big fan. I'm a big fan of as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apple if it's got vanilla ice cream.
So I think that does it. But I think one thing that could be potentially a confusion point is today, so Thursday, it's the 1st of February. Mm-hmm. Today's the last day to sign up. That's Mountain Time at midnight is the cutoff. We are doing the last day of the 10-day challenge tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But enrollment won't be open tomorrow. But we will be. You'll be finishing out.
We're gonna do some key chords,
doing a full 10th day.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps specify kind of what's going on. Today's the last day to sign up, but tomorrow is the last day of the 10-day challenge.
Absolutely. Tomorrow's going to be like the ultimate celebration, because we're going to look back at all the new Tony's Acoustic Challenge members. Levi is going to rapidly read through the list, and he's gotten a good 3 days of practice. Mm-hmm. So I expect fireworks tomorrow, Levi, Guila.
Okay. I'll be practicing.
I expect fireworks. Let me give you a sneak peek as to what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So tomorrow is indeed day 10 of your 10-day challenge. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at these chords that we use, the E7, the A7, the B7, and we're going to look at different mini chords across the neck. Really useful, especially if you want to apply them to this 12-bar blues that we learned today. So a lot of cohesion in this week's lessons, and I cannot thank you enough for being here, sharing your time with us today, and just being a guitar geek. Again, today is the last day of Tony's Acoustic Challenge open enrollment. And of course, tonight it will close at midnight. And again, that's February 1st at midnight Mountain Time is the deadline to become a Tony's Acoustic Challenge member. If you're on the fence, come please join us. I would love for you to get in there and meet some fellow guitar geeks and really get the most out of your guitar in terms of enjoyment and fulfillment. So with that being said, from Noah, Levi, and myself, thank you so much for being here for day 9 of the 10-day challenge, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for day 10 of your 10-day challenge. Until then, keep strumming, keep smiling, rock on, keep rocking in the free world, and rock and roll with a whole lot of soul. Yeah, baby. Double cheers. My name is Tony Policastro. I'm part of an underground group of acoustic guitar enthusiasts you've probably never heard of. We're not here to play face-melting guitar solos or judge other guitar players. Our purpose is much greater than that. For us, it's about expanding our quality of life through music and having fun with our guitar, not just mastering it. Getting better at guitar is proof that we do have what it takes to be a guitar player, which means we can build stronger bonds with friends and create lasting musical family traditions. But if you asked a guitar snob or a music academic, they would turn up their nose and say their way is better. Yet this way of seeing the guitar is changing lives every single day. We follow a specific framework and set of values that keeps us focused on what matters most: human connection, constant progress, and fun. It's happening, and we call it living the acoustic life. This is our acoustic life, and these are our stories.